have in front of me a Labgear IPC1800 4K CCTV test monitor, okay? So this is hybrid, so it can handle a very, very large range of technologies at very high resolutions as well. So for instance, TVI you can handle at 8 megapixel, CVI at 4 megapixel, AHD at 5 megapixel, and IP you can handle full 4K. So really, really impressive in terms of what it does. There's lots of other features like network testing, flashlights, the ability to bring up and view cameras as if we were doing it through different types of software, for example the Hikvision apps and things like that built into it. So it really is a tremendous piece of equipment. It's amazingly compact and it really blows everything else that's in the market just away, both in terms of the range of technology, the price point, and just how good and easy it is to use. So this is the outer box it comes in. Then we have a little zippable hard case here for carrying everything in it. So I'll just go through the accessories on it very quickly. We have an external power unit which we can use for charging it. We have this for connecting onto a PTZ if we want to do connections. We have a power unit here as well, or this is for audio in fact, and then this is for powering external cameras, which we're going to use in the course of this demonstration. We have a BNC connection on it. So what I want to do in this video is I want to give a detailed overview of the main features of the monitor tester itself. And I'll just demonstrate it just with this camera that's in front of me here. We'll have other videos in the series and we'll cover the IP cameras on it, all the rest of it here. But there's a built-in user manual inside of the device itself. The user manual that comes with it is completely non-existent, so it'll be depending on our video here. But it took us not too long to figure out this thing here, and it took us probably less than 5 minutes to figure out this is miles better than anything else that's on the market. Okay, so let's come along and we'll do the first thing, which we'll just turn this on first of all. So we turn it on and nothing happens. Well, the reason then is we have the on switch here, but we need to power it on here. So we just press down, hold the power switch. What's going to happen here, it'll just load up here, it'll just say Labgear, okay? And what it's doing here is it's just loading the software there. So you can see the size of the LCD screen that's on it. I'll just talk about some of the features on it first as we're doing this. I mentioned earlier we had the ability to control a PTZ. Well, we can see here we have the RS485 connection here we can plug directly in, and the connectors on it. We have a menu button, an enter button, and effectively a back button with the on-off switch. With the BNC connection, which we'll use, of course, for connecting directly onto our typical cameras here. We have the power input here, the power output here, and then we have the LAN connection here, which we could use for network testing, but most likely with the IP cameras themselves. And we have just a little SD card here as well, where we can come along. We have an audio in and out connection here, and we have the audio connection that I think I showed earlier on. We can just push that directly in there. Now, if we come along and we look at the main menu, there's 4 main screens in it here. So maybe what we might do at that point is, can you focus in better? Do you want to come closer on that? And what I might do is I'll just come to the front and just talk here very briefly about what the main screens on this is going to be. So I don't know how good we can get on it. Might just have to describe it here for you. The first thing is we have an IP camera tester here. So it's touchscreen. So when I touch this in here, the first thing I'd normally do is I just want to go in and turn on and off the power here, okay? And the importance of turning on the power here is that if I just tip this here and turn it on, it means there's an output coming from the output port here. So it means that either on the PoE side or on the 5 volt output here, we can actually power a camera. And if I just go backwards here, just hit the return, just bring back to the previous menu. Now, interesting here, we have a little networking tool in here as well. So if we want to do some network testing, things like that, we can actually do it from here as well. And that can be handy because you might say to yourself, well, I have a problem here, or wonder, is there a problem with the cable? You can actually use this meter for testing the cable itself. So probably the 2 main areas we'll be using would be on the IP camera side, or on this case here, we're actually just going to test on the high definition technologies here, so the CVI, the TVI, and the AHD. Okay, so what we'll do actually at this point is I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to just come along and I have a camera here which I want to wire on, and I'm going to use the BNC connection here. I'm going to run it from the camera using the BNC cable that came with it, and there's a BNC connection here on top. I'm just going to connect that in, and I'm going to use the powering element of it here as well. Now, the important thing is that I turned on the power output on it. It's not automatically on by default because it's trying to be as energy efficient as possible. I'll have this cable here now. And if I come along now, this is a hybrid camera, but probably the best resolution here I'll get in TVI. because it's giving the highest quality things. I think this is only a 2 megapixel here, but we can see here my little hand coming up. I don't know how clear that's on the thing, it's not overly clear for me here, but we can see here that we're both powering and viewing it directly on it, so it works quite well from that perspective. So I'm just going to do a return back here, out of there, and so we obviously have the choice there of CVI, TVI, AHD, and we could also go back to the old 960H, so the old semi-HD analog as well. Now the tools section here is reasonably interesting, because one of the key things that we have inside here is with the user manuals and things like that, so we can actually go in and we can look at all the specifications and things like that. It's built into it there. We have a flashlight functionality on it. I'll just quickly demonstrate that. You can see that there, and you can go to the lighting mode here, and I could just come along and cancel it out there, and I'll just actually quickly, sorry, yeah, I'm just going to do the return functionality there. I've turned off. So you can do just a few things like that. This in my apps here is quite interesting, because what we have here is a range of apps that are preloaded on it, including, for instance, the IVMS app there. And what that would allow us to do is bring up and either remotely log in over a network onto if we had the settings, we could go directly into somebody else's DVR and just log directly in, or we could come along here and use this for logging in as if we're going through the Hikvision app, for instance, directly onto it. So that can be quite convenient. This actually has Wi-Fi built in, so we can set it up on the local network and have it there as well. So it really is super. And we think about like where we'll say a lot of the competitor products are in terms of price range, probably closer to €1,000 for a lot of them. Up to very recently anyway, and also in terms of technology, a lot of them are struggling maybe at one technology or two different types maybe, and maybe at about 2 megapixels. They have something that can cover 4K, 8 megapixel across 4 different technologies. Absolutely incredible. So overall, massively impressed, as you can hear from my general speed on this. It's a really compact unit, and the price point as it means it really suits professionals for sure, but also it can aim pretty effectively at the DIY space here as well, because if you're setting up a system and you want to be able to do a little bit of monitoring and things like that on it and checking on something like this is invaluable. See the size of the box it comes in, and it's just ready to go whenever you need it. So that's it anyway, an overview of the Labgear IPC1800 4K CCTV test monitor hybrid.